Saurabh,
Hey, good. So we are live finally after an unprecedented Google outage. But, well, I mean, it's 2020, so nothing surprises me anymore. Uh, we have David, the ever reliable and wonderful David here now, who will be walking us through a lot of different applications and new demos that we have for you. So we'll show you what we are going to take you through today. So if the layout guy would quickly just show the slides of topics that we are going to cover today. Thank you. Great. So we'll take a look at Malaysia payroll. We'll look at Yodlee integration. We'll look at some UX changes that we have for custom fields, and we have added custom field filter for contacts. So we'll see how that works. We'll take a look at contractor payroll and US benefits, both for Deskera people. And we'll take a look at Canada compliance and biweekly parents. So that's the agenda for today. And over to you, David, to start with Malaysia payroll.
Sounds good. All right, so let's go ahead and start. If you can share the screen.
So always say the layout guy.
Layout guy, okay.
Somesh, the
Definitely
layout
got it.
guy. So,
All right, so we are now in the payroll for Malaysia compliance. So we're clicking on company settings. Inside here, you can put in the address with the city and state, and you can go here and put in the EPF. You can see one's already been created here, and let's click edit. After that, you can see your EPF accounts, your employer type, and you can also click add new, so you can fill in the information like PF code and such other ones as well. Let's click on tax details. So inside here, you can put in your company registration number, employer tax number, your company tax number, your SOSCO number, or your HRDF number, and Zakat number. So after that, let's click on components. Inside here, you can see deductions and bonuses. So you can see your bonuses is an earning, your health insurance is a deduction. And then you can click on the three dots, and then you can edit it. Now inside here, you can click on compliance, and you can see what it's compliance to. Is it compliant to PCB, EPF, SOSCO, or EIS? And then you can also add a component here. So if you add a component, you can click on compliance, and you can select what's necessary here, including the EA form field. Next, we have our employees. So let's click on employee list. And you can see Michael Smith. So we click on the checkbox, we click on edit. And inside here, you can see that he's married, his gender, his date of joining. You can see his contact details, is he full-time, how much he's getting paid per month. You can see his bonuses here, or the components that are assigned to him, and the amount. And the amount total here, and then you can click next. And then inside here, you can see the registry's resident status. You can see the IC number. So under residency status, you can see permanent resident, foreigner, Malaysian, IC number, work status, nationality, country of origin, race, his EPF number. You can see his disability status and his disability status of his spouse working, how many children does he have, and previous employee details, and then you can save it. After that, let's go to pay run. Inside here, you can add a pay run. You can select the pay schedule. So for example, monthly, you can select the period, you can select the work period. So let's go back to September and let's click on first. And let's end it on the 30th and apply. And then let's select the user, or you can apply to all. But we're going to just select a user, Michael Smith, and process to payroll. After that, you can see the EPF deductions, the PCB deductions for the employee. For the employer, you can see the EPF deductions based on how he was configured. It's all statutorily compliant. right here, and you can click next, and then you can see the information here. Make sure everything looks good, then you can process payroll. Then the wonderful sign comes up to make sure you ensure accuracy, and then you click finish, and the payroll's been processed. Then you can click the I to view the summary. And then you can see the amount here and if everything looks good and correct. You see the EPF, the PCB, the EF, all here accordingly. All right, so that's a quick look at Malaysian payroll. Does anyone have any questions on this, or?
Yeah, I'm checking the screen for questions right now. I don't see any questions on Malaysia payroll, but just to highlight the great work that the team has done, it was supposed to come out in Q1 2021, and we already are nearly there. So, so great job by the team, and we will continue to, keep getting great stuff and compliance all across the world over to you. There is a question actually: is EIS there for Malaysia payroll?
I believe I saw it when we were going through the walkthrough, so I believe it's there.
Yes, EIS is going to be there. EIS is there. Okay, let's wait for maybe 30 more seconds or 1 minute for any more questions. And then we'll move on to the next item.
Hi. Screen. The share screen.
That was just me echoing, so please carry on. Sorry.
Okay. So there's a question: when will it be available for service? Before the end of this month. Malaysia payroll, that is. So you can look forward to trying out your hands on it really soon.
Why? Why end of the month, man? We can do it probably this weekend, right? But yeah, testing. Assuming we need 1 more week of testing, probably, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Very encouraging. Good job. Good job.
Nice.
What happened, man? 8 o'clock, man. You're all ready to do the thing. It crashed at 8 o'clock. Exactly 8 o'clock.
Exactly 8 o'clock. I think there were too many filters on OBS, which is why probably YouTube crashed, and then that had a chain effect. So,
okay, back to David.
Okay, so yeah, David. Next item on the agenda is Yodlee integration. I don't know how it is supposed to be pronounced. I mean, are we supposed to yodel the name or
Yodlee?
just say Yodlee? But my inner Kishore Kumar is, challenged every time I read the name. So
it's Yodlee. You can't say Yodlee without saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, David, back to you.
All right. So let's go. We're going to click on banks. We're going to click add bank account. We're going to put in the code ACC 0002 and the name of the bank. Mortgage, your mortgage bank account, mortgage account. And then you put in any description if you want to, or you can, and then you set the currency. For example, United States dollars. Then you go save and next. Then after that, you click connect new bank. And then you see Yodlee here. So you click on it. And then inside here, you can see your different banks. Chase, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Bank of America.
David is he alive? What happened?
Did he drop off or what? Yeah, I don't know. David, you still there?
Yeah, he has dropped off.
Yeah, I think there's some. It's not a good day for technology, is it?
Saurabh, your background is looking like it's a virtual background.
This is the office, quite literally.
Okay, nice. Actually, the view is good. Wing it. This Monday is just wing it.
That's yeah. Let me get that up and running on my system while we wait for David to come back.
You good? Yeah, cool.
So, can you hear David? I still can't hear him.
Saurabh, you want to start because it's going to take a little bit of time. Saurabh,
Yeah.
are you going to start?
Yes. Let me do that. I'm just opening the system here. Okay, so let me share this.
Hi, Saurabh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Ah, very good. Okay, we can go back and I'll continue where I left off.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sound good? Just the video is now gone. I'm not video, the picture of me. So you can't see my wonderful face anymore. But let's go back here to, yeah, here, the Chase banks we were talking about earlier. All right, so let's start here. All right, so inside here, you can see all your different banks. Then you can also search for a bank. So let's search for DAG site. So inside here, you can put in your username, your password, and you can submit. Now it's processing. After that, it'll get all your wonderful, good old information. Then you can go and select your bank account here. So, for example, is it Citi? Is it CMA? Is it joint savings account? So you select, for example, CMA, and then you click connect. And now you've connected to the bank using Yodlee.
Nice.
Yeah. Any questions on that? I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. So just a few comments here. We will be publishing a list of all the banks that will be supported by Yodlee on our blog. and I'll put the link there. So look out for that. We will cover most of the banks using Udly for Australia and Southeast Asia right away. Then in Q1, we will have access to UK banks through Yodlee, and by I think Q2 we should have access to any other banks, because Yodlee itself is expanding their services. So as they keep expanding their services, they have shared these plans with us, and as they keep expanding their services, we will be getting access to more and more banks. So that's good news for everyone. Okay, let's quickly check if there are any questions on this before we move on to our next topic. I don't see any questions. So yeah, it's okay. Let's move on to the next couple of topics, David, which is the UX changes in custom field, and then we'll go to custom field filter for contacts.
All right. So we're going to go to click on custom fields. We're going to click on create custom fields here. You see 8 active, you see 6 inactive, and you click create. You can see all the different ones. We have 14 here, and you can click create. And now you can see the UI change. So right now you just put in the field name. Right here, what you want to input. So for example, invoice data, which would be very good. And then you have your choices. You have your text box, your numbers, your multi-select dropdown, and you can put in, like, for example, the text box, the length. So for example, 3. So that will work. Lower will work. And of course, yes will work. So you can choose and restrict it by that. We also have the ability to add this in contacts, account, invoice, order, product, journal entry, quotation, and bill. And you can see invoice data is here. You can click on the 3 dots, you can edit it. And you can set it as mandatory here as well. Next, let's create. And you can click on numbers. So this is a decimal precision. So how many decimal places you need and the default value. Again, you can add it to all these different types of masters and transactions. And we have multi-select dropdown. So this is your different dropdowns like we had before. So for example, paid invoice. Then I can put down the dropdown value, like yes, no, and I can set it as default. Which one I want as default, and is it visible or not? Then I can click availability, and again, I can select it to what I want. So for maybe these are for my transactions, so maybe invoice. And you can see it's been created, the paid invoice. Now if I click on sell, I create an invoice. I click add contact. I can see my global custom fields here. For example, the invoice data is showing here, the paid invoice, yes and no, the drop-down field, or the custom fields. And that's custom fields in Deskera.
Great. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one as well. That would be custom field filter for contacts in CRM.
Correct. So, all right, there it is. Now let me go and let's start this. So for example, inside here, you can see our filters right there on the screen. We can click on our settings. We can click on custom fields here, and we can create a custom field, for example. Oh, okay, we have 2 custom fields. We have city and we have birth country already created, a text and a drop down. So those are the different ways we're going to look at filtering the information by custom fields. You can see one's a text, one's a drop-down field here. Next, we can click on contacts. And then we can click on...
Hey, there's one question. Somebody's asking, do we finally have Maybank or not? Or do we have more banks in Malaysia or not? So I think the answer to that question is, first of all, just like how we did it last time. We'll probably have to test it out with every bank. So once it's live, we'll have to test it out. Saurabh, I think you're on mute.
No, I am not. Can you hear
Sorry.
me?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I went to my YouTube feed and looks like
I
you were
see.
mute there. But yeah, so what's the plan for Malaysia and the banks in Malaysia? Is that
So I will be posting a list of all the supported banks on our blog. I'll put the link on Facebook. So that will be quite clear then as to which banks are going to be supported through Yodlee and which are not. I have seen. I mean, I don't remember whether Maybank specifically is in there, but I remember that I think a few dozen banks are supported in Malaysia through Yodlee. So chances are pretty good, but I'll confirm that when I post the blog link.
okay? All right. So I think the answer once again is that let's test it out, Saurabh.
Yeah.
And once it's fully tested out, we will. This time we will make sure we do a blog post on that.
Yep.
Okay, back to David.
Yes. What happened to the? 1 second. So inside here we have the filter function. So you can see people and organizations here. It's no longer on the right-hand side.
Did he crash again?
No, what's it called? My screen crashed instead. My top
Oh,
screen.
okay. Wow. So,
This is
oh, by
just
the way,
wonderful.
I just checked, and Maybank is going to be available. It's in the list. So,
Okay.
with 23 banks.
Hold on. Just hold on. David, are you live or what's happening with your screen?
My screen is amazing right now.
Okay.
I've never seen it moving.
Are you using external, screen from your MacBook? So back to you. I'll just give a call to David. I think he's using an external screen on MacBook and it's buggy. StreamYard doesn't take external screen. So if you have any external stream on StreamYard, you'll have to unplug any external stream because it takes that screen as the stream output. So I think you can answer on Yodlee. David, are you using an external screen?
I was.
Yeah, don't use any external screen. Don't use an external screen on StreamYard. It takes the external screen as your output. That's a very standard thing. Never use external screens when you're streaming.
Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly and
Please.
just go to this.
Yeah.
wonderful
This
thing.
is the only way. This is the only way. Just use one computer. Don't use multi computers. Don't use multi screens.
Okay. All right.
Wait, you got to, go ahead.
So you can see in here, there's a search function. You can see all our wonderful components, our contacts here. And if you click on the little arrow there, you can filter out by people and organization and all contacts. And then you can see, for example, Acme Inc., Avengers, or the wonderful companies. So it's going to filter out by companies. And now you can see the companies are showing here. Now, if he clicks on people, you can see Hulk Professor, Hawkeye, Tony Stark, Amazing Spider-Man. And you can remove the filters there as well. Now, if you click on the little magnifying glass, this is where you can actually search for specific contacts. So you can type in, for example, Mike, and Mike will be filtered out. And then you just delete Mike's name. So you click on the icon again, and then you delete Mike's name. And then you can, see the different selections here. So if you click on filter, you can see the different selections. You can see the owner, sub-owner, visibility, and add custom field filter inside here. So let's click on Mike and Daniel. So We're going to first click on Mike. So inside here, you can see his birth country is USA and his city is in Texas. Inside there. Must be Texas City, Texas. And then you go to contacts and let's click on Daniel. And inside here, you can see birth country Germany and you can see city Berlin. Then after you click on contacts, you click on filter. I click on add custom filter here, or I can choose maybe visibility. And I can choose the visibility. For example, only private. And I can apply the filter and you can see there's only Acme is private here. So visibility, private, apply filter. All right, so you can see it's filtered out only private. Now let's click on filter. Let's click on filter. And then let's clear selection. So you see that we can clear the selection right there on top of the button. Next, we can click on filters and we can click on add custom field filter. So this is where I can add in, for example, city, and I can type in the value as, for example, Texas. And then I can apply the filter. And then you can see Mike is showing here because he's from the city, Texas. And then you can just go down and you can see city, Texas here as well. Next, you can click on the filter and we can change it. So we add a custom filter, we change it to birth country. And then we can click on the drop down and input the value, select the value. So click on birth country and then select the value. If you click on the drop down, you can see France, Germany, and the US. So for example, if he selects Germany and you click apply filters, then you can see that Daniel's shown up because his birth city is Germany. I mean, his country of origin is Germany, and that's why it appears. So that's the custom filters.
Great. So let us see if we have any questions on these two features. So, okay, just waiting for, I think, YouTube to catch up. There seems to be a slight delay.
When will Yodlee be in service? So you can see the screen, the question.
Yeah. Okay, so no questions on this so far. So let's move on to the next topic, which is contractor payroll, US benefits, and maybe we can show bi-weekly pay run followed by Canada compliance.
There's a question
So
right
over
on
to you, David. Let's start.
Can you see the screen? When is Yodlee going to be in service? The question is right on the screen, man.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like right there on the screen. Just don't look at YouTube. Don't look at YouTube. You look at this. Just your screen.
Right. Fair point. So yeah, okay.
Fair point.
It should be up and the first set of Yodlee banks should be available within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, that's all you have to say, man. That's all you have to say. It's Christ Wolves. Hey, Christ Wolves, what's your real name, man? How do we know you are even a user? Maybe after clicking the filter criteria, the table header should have the custom field displays as well. I don't know, man. But
I think we had this discussion the last time as well, in the last webinar also. So
we have that, right?
Yeah, there is an option. I mean, when you, if you want to clear the filters off, there is one click option to clear all the filters off.
Okay. Carry on with the demo, please.
All right, so inside here, we can see the dashboard. We're going to click on employees here. We're going to click on employees list. We're going to click add contractors. So click contractors, and then you can click add contractor here. You can also edit by clicking the 3 dots and edit. So you can see individual or business up here. You can see his first name, Albert. You can see his city, his information, his compensation details. Is it hourly wage, fixed amount? And you can see down here his payment method. Is it direct deposit, cash, or check? Then you can click save. After saving, you can see the information. Albert Ho, let's go and click on payroll. And let's click on contractor pay run. So you can see there's now an additional pay run here. So now let's click on pay contractor. So let's click on that and let's select the payment date. So for example, the 11th, and we can say, is it for all contractors or a specific contractor? So if I click on this, it's for all contractors. If I don't, I can select my contract here. And then I can proceed to payroll. After that, I can see my information, time worked, additional earnings, net pay. So, and please fill in the worked by contractor if applicable. So you can see 1,000 here. You can see Albert Ho. You can put in the number of hours. So for example, maybe you work 10 hours. You can see the amount is adjusted based on the hours he worked. So now it's $1,000. And then you can select the employee and edit. And then this is where you can add in the component. So if you want an additional component like bonus, you can put in the cost here. And then you can add the component. And now you can see it's been added, and then you can save. So you now see he has $1,100, 10 hours, $1,000 plus $100 for the bonus. Then you click next. You can see the time worked, additional earnings, everything showing correctly, then process the payroll. And then click yes. And then you can go and see total contractors, pay date, additional earning, so total contractors cost, and then you can click finish. And now you have processed the contractor's payroll. And you can see the pay summary here as well. All right, so that's contractors.
Wonderful. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. So we're going to look at benefits. And benefits are currently in the system. So let's click on benefits. So inside here, I can see my different benefits, my wellness, my telecom, my dental benefits. And I can add benefits here as well by clicking add. I can put in the benefit name. So for example, commuter benefits, I can put in pre-tax or as a post-tax. I can put in the employee contribution. I can put in the employee contribution. And then I can say, is it a fixed amount or a percentage here? And I can say any additional minimum contribution is required. I can put that there. And then it's applicable to all users or specific user. So it's specifically applicable to Luke Skywalker. Unfortunately, no Han Solo. So we can see the components here. And now let's do the pay run. And then we can add the pay run. We can click here monthly. We can see the pay date, the work period. So maybe 1st December to 31st December and apply. Or maybe 1st Jan to 31st Jan and apply. And then I can select all the users or a specific user. And then you process the payroll. Now inside here, you can see Luke Skywalker. He has the commuter benefits. And you can see the employee's tax details. And you can see Han Solo, no commuter benefits. But he has wellness benefits and other benefits as well. Then you click next. Then you can process, make sure everything's accurate, click yes. View summary. You can see all the information. Does it look all right? Everything good? wellness benefit, commuter benefit. Yep, so everything looks good. We have all the good old federal income tax, social security tax, all that information. So it all shows now correctly. Oops. All right, so that's benefits.
Yeah, I mean, it's already out and you can play around with it in the system even now. So let's quickly check if any questions on benefits or contractor payroll. I think it's too early for folks in the US right now, so probably we won't have a lot of questions on this. So let's jump to Canada compliance and biweekly pay run as well. And let's take a look at those two. So over to you, David.
All right, so let's go to Canada compliance. So inside here, you can see the screen and you can click up set up your own organization. After that, you can put in your financial year start date. So for example, the 1st of this month and the book beginning date. Now, the key thing is the tax registry, because the tax registry will change your compliance. So you have to put in Canada in order to get your Canadian compliance. And you click create. Congratulations, your My Canada organization is up and running. So now we're going to explore the app. So inside here, we're going to look at the chart of accounts because a lot of chart of accounts have been created for this. So inside here, you can see 63 chart of accounts have been created. And then let's now go to taxes. So inside taxes, you can see that 6 tax groups have been created, 3 for purchase, or sorry, it looks like 8
and
tax
this has support for QST as well, as you can see on the screen. So it will have Quebec taxes as well.
And you can create your own tax groups as well if you require to. So you can put like tax Gs 0001. You can put in the tax code. You can say sales or purchases, and then you can add in your components here. So for example, 0 rated. And is it a pre-tax or a post-tax? Your GST. 5% tax is a pre-tax or post-tax. And your HST NB, 15%, as a pre or post-tax. And then you can save it. After saving it, you can see the percentage is up there. You can see the 20.75 for tax G001, the group we just created. Now let's go to contacts. So inside here, you can add a contact. So every statutory requirement country will have its own different information that you need to input, like business number, GST number, default sales tax rate, default purchase rate. So this information is required for Canada. So when you set up the statutory requirements, this will show up. Your tax registry is Canada, this will show up. So let's put in name, contact, 001, business number, GST number, and you can put in your default sales tax rate and your default purchase tax rate. And then you can save it. Next, we have the import feature. Just like with statutory requirements, the import feature for contacts will change based upon your statutory requirements. So you can download the sample file and then fill in the information and then search your file and upload it. So you see, it actually says contact can template. So that's the Canadian template. Then you click next. Inside here, you can see all the mapping. If you scroll down, you can see the business number, GST number, default purchase tax, default sales tax, all that information down there. And then you click next. And then you can see all the information on the screen. And you can change the information on the screen. So if anything is not correct, you can just modify it right here if you want to. But if everything's good, you can click submit and the information will be created. And if you click on the import log, you can see the original file. You can see what has been imported correctly, and there'll be a red file if something's not been imported correctly. Next, we can create a product. So inside here, you can create a track, non-track, bill of materials. And then you just put in the information. Under accounting, you can see the account, purchase, sales, all the normal stuff you'd expect to see. And you put in the name, like product 001, and then you save it. Next, let's click on sell, and let's create a quote. So inside here, we can add our contact. So contact 001, add a line item, and put in the product. So for example, your product, I believe we created product 001. Then you can see your tax type come up. Inside here, you can change it, and you can put in your tax group. So for example, you create tax G0001 or 401s, and you can expand the tax type. By clicking here, you can see all your different taxes. But of course, we have to put in a unit price, because zero amount, of course, zero taxes. So you put $1,000 here. You can change the quantity if you want to. So for example, 3, and you can see the taxes populated down here with all the information. Next, you can save. Save. And then inside here, you can click the 3 dots. You can copy it. You can see the information here. So for example, maybe we want to change this to 1 quantity and save. And now that's been created. I can convert just to an invoice. So convert fully. But I did not receive my goods. Now I click on invoice here, and then I can go drill in, expand the taxes here, see all the information accordingly. Yep. And then I can see the information. I can click on the 3 dots. I can close invoice. I can see it in archived. I can click the 3 dots. I can reopen it. I can click on invoice, see the due date, drill in, click receipt payment. And this is where I can select my information, my payment currency here. You know, am I receiving payment in Canadian dollars? My payment type, is it check, bank transfer, or card? Choose the date. Choose the reference number. Click next and receive. See the information and close. And that was a quick look at Canadian compliance.
Wonderful. So I see a couple of questions or rather comments. One is QST is broken into 2 taxes, one at 5 and one at 9.975. And yes, that will be possible in the system. And Prashant also has replied. So thank you, Prashant. Wonderful. And yeah, I mean, any other questions on Canada compliance? Oh, by the way, this will be available along with French language.
French language. Dude, who's working on French language? We
French.
just haven't...
You need French for Quebec.
No, I know, but we didn't speak about this today. Is somebody really working on French language? Because I didn't see that in the spreadsheet that we were working on today.
No, we did. I think our guy Prashant also confirmed that. So.
Oh, okay, that's encouraging. So hopefully by the coming week we'll have this in French language.
Along with Canada. So we'll be releasing Canada compliance along with French.
Cool. Prashant Majwar, please confirm if this is true.
Please type Geronimo if that is true in
Geronimo!
the chat. Now that it has happened. I don't think we have left him an option now though. So
yeah, that's the right way to ambush.
Yeah.
French would be there. Okay, good. Okay. So
wonderful.
but our French the French version won't be out until next year, right? The French compliance.
You mean the French compliance? Yeah, yeah.
France.
French compliance would be compliance for France
Compliant for
would
France.
be out next year.
I feel like you're very close with the camera, so if you could just just tiny bit behind, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I hope that's better.
But the camera, is it the MacBook camera?
MacBook Air.
Hey, this is looking much better than what it looks downstairs.
Is
And
it?
I think, yeah, looking much better.
I think it's the lighting here.
Yeah,
There are
the lighting
multiple
is very good.
sources of lighting, which is why
Yeah,
it's
looking
creating that
much
effect.
better, much.
It's creating a bokeh effect.
In fact, your camera is better than the Sony ZV-1 that David is using. See, you see the pixelated David's face.
Today is not that camera's good day, I think so.
You know why? By the way, you know why it's pixelated? Because the camera is focusing on the mic. So Mr. Somen Mishra has fixed the mic on the camera on mic. The focus is on mic and not on David. So David is the bokeh for mic.
Oh, this is the MacBook camera. The regular camera.
Switch to MacBook right now. Okay.
So now
Just
I'm
move the mic a little bit. Move the mic towards your right, so the camera can focus on you.
right like this. Looks better, or
Yeah, no, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, enough about cameras. What else do we have today?
Bi-weekly.
Yeah, the bi-weekly parent is the last item on the agenda.
Okay, let's see. Bi-weekly. I'm not sure if people want to see that, but go ahead.
All right, so I'm inside here, and we're going to show you bi-weekly. So we're going to click on employee list. And we're going to click on pay schedule. Inside pay schedule, we're going to add a pay schedule. We're going to click on the pay period. Is it monthly, weekly, twice per month, and bi-weekly? Finally, yay! So let's click on, so let's cancel. We have a bi-weekly already created. Let's go here and edit it. So inside here, I can see the bi-weekly. I can see the pay date and all that information. I can click on payroll and click on pay run. I can go add a pay run here. I can select the schedule, bi-weekly. And select bi-weekly. Select payday, select first pay date, select working period. Is it applicable to all users or just a specific one? So for example,
By the way, just to interrupt, and what do you say when Salman Khan gives you payroll? It's bi-weekly. Sorry.
And you just lost 3 supporters. So
And we just lost 3 subscribers, which is 3% of our total subscribers. We only have 100 subscribers.
yeah. So
Sorry, David. Sorry. Please carry on.
no problem. All right, so then let's click process payroll. So inside here, I can see John Eva and Prim Singha, and I can see you can update the hours. I can click on overtime. So we have 1.5 or 2 based upon how you want to update it. I can see the bonus. I can see the deductions, the federal income, Social Security, Medicare, tax, medical, FUTA, all the statutory compliances here, all the information. Then I click next. I can see all the information looks good. Everything looks fine. So I can see the net amount, all the statutory compliances, the bonus. I can process the payroll. Then I can go and see everything looks good and click finish. Are you sure? Yes. And the payments are on their way. So if I click on pay run, I click on the eye icon. I can see the information here, all the detailed information. And that's a quick look at bi-weekly.
Awesome. So, thanks, David, for taking everybody through all these new features. And so today we were, while let's wait for some time to get some questions in and see if there are any questions that need to be answered, or if somebody wants to ask anything about the product here. I don't think, I don't know, maybe people can put in a comment if they have a different opinion, but I think that maybe we should not go through the entire system demo here, because the timing for this particular webinar was more to be for the Southeast
No, we are
Asia.
good. We are good. That's good. We'll do one round again on Friday. But just wanted to, for the 30 odd people who are here, we'll probably have this Friday. We have a different type of webinar where we'll basically interview people from this Friday. So our first in that series is with Microsoft on this Friday. We'll have Microsoft and us talking about SMBs, and we'll start a new series which we are calling the Underdog series, which will basically be a podcast on YouTube. It won't be a podcast. It's better to just do it on YouTube because it's easier to consume through YouTube, especially when you don't have a podcast application or a special podcast app. So we will start doing it this Friday. We'll send out invites from tomorrow onwards, and hopefully have more participants from next week onwards. I'll make a post on our group as well. From next week, we want to talk to at least one of you live on this show webinar, and we'll have in the first few episodes Sashi Nair probably joining us, but more importantly, we'll have some of us, some of you guys, sorry, contributing, joining, discussing, just having a chat on your business, having a chat on what you do, and having a chat on how you use applications, technology, and just a general chit chat. Nothing high, no pressure, nothing, very high tech in that sense. We'll start doing that from Friday and possibly Monday as well. So we'll make it more lively and more engaging from next week. And if you have, of course, any questions, please feel free to post. What we will also do from next week is probably spend more time on the group questions. We'll also do it now if you can, sort of. So, pick up any question on the group, bigger question that you had this week, and want to kind of address that quickly. Maybe we can do it now, or we can do it from the next webinar. But we'll just bring up some questions from the group so that we have at least some cache of questions to answer and respond to. There's one guy, Abe Cisse, who says, his Wells Fargo account is not connecting. Did that finally work?
Yeah, I think we got an update that they got it to work. It's posted in the group as well.
Yeah, I just see that. How did it work? Like, what happened? What went wrong?
I will have to check and let you know. I don't know the details, but what I do know is that it did work.
No worries.
The support team helped him, and he also.
Prashant Majwar, did you help him? Maybe he did. That's why he's not answering.
Yeah. He fixed the Google issue today. So.
Yeah, man. Great job.
Yeah.
But coming back to our format, so we'll have an updated format from this week. We'll probably pick up some questions in advance from the group from this week as well. And with that, I think we just want to wrap it up now. It's pretty late. By the way, just an update on the codes. Is there any update on codes? Did we finally give out all the codes? Is that pending? Is anything pending on that?
I think we've pretty much handed out all the codes. There may be a couple pending, which we got in pretty late, but that's pretty much about it. So
all right.
I think we have pretty much finished with the list.
So hopefully there's no challenge on that. Rod, we will do our affiliate webinar on Tuesday. I don't know if you're online, but I can just send you a link if you want to join this webinar. But if it's too late, maybe we'll do it on Wednesday. Sorry, not Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll have our affiliate webinar on Wednesday, 8 p.m., right? And we'll send out invites for that as well. I think one of the challenges in the affiliate, whole affiliate program right now, challenge is that our Facebook group wasn't working well. So we are now moving all the affiliates to a new group. Don't ask why. Facebook just is very buggy these days. Facebook, Google, and it's all 2020 is showing very funny side to it. Rod just sent me a question on YouTube on WhatsApp, and his question is: when setting up my company, do I put the start date as a historical date or start date as today? What start date? I just want to test while running QuickBooks, hoping I can cancel QuickBooks. Saurabh, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, sure. So it depends. On the user preference. I mean, you can go either ways. You can start with the date that you started on in your previous system, or you can just use the date when you actually start using the Deskera system. Now, what are the differences in the two approaches? And I'll line out the differences, and then you can decide which way is better for you. So if you're going to start, let's say that your previous installation of QuickBooks or Zero or whatever, right, it had data from 2015 or 2016 onwards, and now you want to move all that existing data over to Deskera. Then what you have to do in that case is that you have to set your book beginning and financial year the same as what you would have in your previous system. And then you have to import all the transactions, or at least all the journal entries of whatever the number of years that you have already stored in that system. Now, doing that can be a bit tricky, especially depending on your business. So if you have, let's say, a lot of credit notes and debit notes and partial payments and returns, etc., then that may not be the best approach at times, because accounting has got a lot of interlinked documents. For example, you have invoice that is linked with a payment, that may be linked with a credit note, that may be linked later on with a sales return, and you have to make sure that when you're exporting your data out, you export all the relevant transactions, and then you have to put them back in the same order. So
I don't think he's asking about exporting transactions. He's asking about what start date to use.
So I'm talking about the challenges of using an earlier start date.
Okay.
And or rather, I mean, what kind of problems that they might run into if they want to use a previous start date versus the current date. So yeah, so you have to get all the transactions out in the same order, and then you have to upload them in the same order as well. Correct. And there is dependency on your existing system as well, that whether that existing system is tracking all those relations between different documents or not. So if they are not tracking it, then you may have to do some manual adjustments after you import the data inside the system. On the other hand, if you choose the actual start date, let's say that I start using the system on the 1st of March and my financial year is January to December, then I can put my book beginning date as 1st of March, and I can put 1st January as my financial year start. And then all I need to do is I need to import my opening balances. So when you are importing your opening balances, you don't need to import all the transactions that you have created in the past, but rather just the sum of the impact of all those transactions is what you will have as your trial balance numbers as of 28th of Feb. And that is the only data that you need to import. So it is a lot faster and a lot cleaner for you to start off with the current date by adding your opening balances instead of trying to import every single transaction. And I understand there may be some questions on that. Hey, I need to maintain those transactions. So there are multiple ways to do that. You can export them out as Excel, and you can put them against those contacts in CRM, for example, for as a list of all the previous transactions. You can just attach a file and maybe get all that information if needed. or you can just store them offline if you wish to. uh, so you still have your data with you, you're not losing your data, and you can start using the new system a lot faster. The only thing that you need to export or import into the new system when you start with the current opening date is uh, your opening balances and the opening invoices and bills. So what are opening invoices and bills? Let's say as of starting with the example that I took, which was 1st of March. If you have any unpaid invoices as of 1st of March or any unpaid bills as of 1st of March, then those are the only transactions that you need to import to the system. And that is a lot easier than, let's say you have 30,000 transactions over the last 6 years, because you need to export them out, you need to make sure that the data got exported out correctly, there is no mismatch, the connections are all proper, and then you have to import that back in. So a lot faster if you choose the current date, and you're not losing any data because your opening balances contain all that accounts data that would be there in your trial balance anyways. So if you, if you were to ask me, my recommendation always is to go with the current date. But again, if your transactions are simpler in nature, that is primarily it is invoice and payments, and you're not doing a lot of credit notes or debit notes and payment returns, sales returns or purchase returns, etc., then go for, then it is.
See, the good
Then
news is
there
the
would
person
be
who asked this question is not on this stream. That's the good news.
Yeah, but I think that's it's a recurring question, and I know that we have had a few people ask this. So
The question is, I want to run Deskera. The first thing you should tell them is that you can't reset easily. We don't have reset in Deskera. We are building that reset button. We don't have reset. So once you enter data just to test it out and you try it again, it's going to be a challenge. You have to write to us and we have to reset for you. So if you want to test it out, there's no reset. Right now you can't do that. So you have to use it seriously, or otherwise testing it's not easy. But I think he's just saying, look, his question is, I want to set it up, I want to try it out, what date should I use? Honestly, you can use any date. If you have a reset button, you can use any date, which we don't. So you can't use any date.
you still can, and if you want to test the system out, then we have an inbuilt demo account, so use that.
No, he's not asking. I don't think there's. What he's saying is, I want to use my QuickBooks parallelly with Deskera for 3 months and then see the whole thing matches or not, which is very valid, right?
For it to match, you still need to get all the opening data inside. Otherwise, if you don't have your opening data,
assuming I can get opening balance, obviously
assuming if you put the opening balance in, then yes, it would match. Yeah.
Goes without saying. So let's say you start QuickBooks on day one, have all the opening balances, and then you start Deskera and have all the opening balances. Then they should match, is what he's asking. And my answer to that is, don't do that till we build a reset button. We have reset in QuickBooks, right?
Desktop.
6 months ago. Today.
QuickBooks Desktop allows you to. it doesn't have a reset button, but it just allows you to change data. That's because they allow negative inventory as well. So
yeah. Well, let's work on getting a reset button. But otherwise, if you have a reset button, it's very easy. Just a press of a button.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully answered the question in some way or form. With that, is there any other thing on my chat? Abhinav Goswami is sending me WhatsApp asking me if I'm available at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. And since obviously that this is the best way to communicate, yes, I'm available at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow for a call. So hopefully you got the Kushagar Ghazi is asking, it'll be great if we can have independent series in transactions. Independent series in transactions. Oh, yeah. That we spoke about this today. Independent numbers, independent series in transactions.
When you say independent series, are you talking about having
these
your
are
own
series that are not dependent? They can go out and live their life without any dependency. Sorry.
strong independent series?
Yes.
Right.
I think the answer to that is that we have just
I'm not sure I get the question.
numbering independent numbering series. Your document numbering independent.
Yeah, you can do manual input.
No, series means no manual input.
So if you, I mean, we can create sequential series in the system. Maybe we can just quickly take a look at how we do that.
No, that's okay. If, as long as you say that we have that,
Yeah,
we
we
will
can
take
create sequences in the system.
non-sequential numbering. That's what he's asking. Non-sequential numbering. How did I enter this question, man? I'm just looking.
That's what I'm wondering, where where did that come from?
Non-sequential numbering. Maybe we will take this up in the next demo. But I think we don't have non-sequential numbering.
So what is non-sequential numbering? Non-sequential numbering is effectively entering the number manually, right? I mean, what else is
Some
non-sequential?
series you can create a series like we discussed this today, right? Like Asit was asking, date-based.
Date-based series, okay.
Yeah.
So
Some
that also
series
is sequential. I mean,
really.
yeah, I mean, you have date and then you have a number at the end. If you are
Okay,
going to
so
auto
do we
generate,
have that? Or do we not have that? We don't have that,
we
right?
don't have date-based
That's
generation.
exactly what he's asking. Come to the point. You don't have it.
We don't have date-based. We have sequential.
Abhin Low is saying, ideally, I don't need you. You can spend time with users. They are more important. That's a heartbreak, but I live with that. But
It's
back
Abhin
to
IOE, not low. So that's Abhinav.
Abhin Loi. Okay. Uh,
Abhinavi.
Chris Wolves. Hey, Chris Wolves, we're not going to take up your question until you tell us who you are. What's your real name? So we will only take this up until you tell us what's your real name is. What your real name is. Kushagar Kazi is back with. We have user cases to discuss in detail. Yes. Give some examples, but I think you're talking about series based on some sequential format like date or some combination. I'm assuming it's some combination, and I think this is a requirement we have from other customers as well, a few other customers, but we have not acted on it because it's not very high on the list of things in terms of priority. But we'll take it up if a lot of customers ask for this. So Chris Wolves, please tell us who you are first. Just kidding. We'll take a question anyway. Any plans to make Deskera store a small cache? Just in case internet little today. Oh, that's not possible the way we run or program it. We will have to write a desktop application, and that is also something that we are planning to do. So it'll be a progressive web app, just like WhatsApp on your browser or WhatsApp app on your computer. So a PWA can store data locally and run locally and have a local cache of data. So we are Chris Wools is your name. Okay, thanks, Chris. That's very. Is Wools your surname? That's like a badass name, man. But we're planning to have a PWA, progressive web app, which will have a lot of the features that you're talking about. Basically, offline app. But this will see the challenge with the web app, a progressive web app, desktop application, is that unless your features are kind of done on the web, you don't want this because then you have to update your features on three platforms. Your Android, your iPhone, and your web and your desktop, right? So once our applications are more stable and we've like added a lot of features, we'll come up with an offline application which will be a progressive web app, which will be exactly how which will be like your WhatsApp. Karthik Arora is saying, I don't think he's referring to code link to invoice. Both should pick up their individual series. Yes, that so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So no unlinked documents. Yes, is that something that we are planning for, Saurabh?
Yes, that is in our pipeline. We will be picking it up sometime early next year.
Was it in the pipeline?
It is in the pipeline.
That unlinked document, is it in QL or QB?
Not unlinked, but rather basically you have quotes and invoices. And please correct me, Karthik and Kushagar, if I'm wrong. Just by
Or Asit?
saying, yeah.
Asit asked for that as well, right?
Yeah, basically you have quotes and invoices, and they can follow different sequences.
Oh, yeah. That came up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm not sure if that's in the pipeline.
Not in the development pipeline. It is in our list of things that we have to roll up.
I don't think that's not in the Notion pipeline as well.
Because
A
it's an
lot of things.
incremental change, so it's not like
Yeah.
a new module or feature. So we are not just, we are not adding incremental changes or QOL changes to the Notion series, but
I just want to surprise the users. We just want to keep it very suspicious. But yes, we'll take a note of this. What's the use case? So give me some use case for this. So why do you want invoices and quotes to have different series?
so I think one reason is because in some of the countries, invoice numbering
India.
is given by the government in some cases, or you have to have a separate numbering format for invoices,
So
and they don't want to.
statutory is a use case. Statutory compliance is a use case.
Yes, that is one use case. Another use case might be if you are doing multiple invoices from one code, then you want to maintain a different sequence because you want to be able to distinguish between quotes and invoices more clearly.
Okay. Fair enough. Any other question? Nothing else. Cool. Guys and people, girls, people, everyone, thank you so much for joining this webinar / podcast / conversation / casual vlog all in one with me and Saurabh and David.
And the layout guy.
And the bloody...
Let's not forget the layout guy. So
the layout guy is like the most useless guy in the history. Like, what is he doing? Dude, please step up your game. Sorry. Layout guy is Somay Mishra. So obviously we are just pulling his leg. But thank you for joining this. The idea when we were setting this up, the idea was to have a conversation. Just have it twice a week. No whole bar conversation, no agenda, no, like I see other products doing this and they have a very salesy agenda and they're very specific. I want to make money off of this 1 hour that I spend agenda. And I didn't want it to be very salesy for a simple reason that once you inject sales into any conversation like this, the conversation just vanishes. The whole meaning of conversation vanishes. Go to see Zero's podcast and the guy is trying to sell. The point being, I just want to make it more conversational because more than anything else, this is more like a one-on-one between you and us. And more than anything else, it's also us knowing you better. So hope you like the format, and we're going to continue with this format and have more conversations with other users, other companies, and other startup owners and other business owners, entrepreneurs as well. So as we progress, we'll have more of this. Please join every week, Monday 8 p.m. Singapore time, Friday 12 Singapore time.
Google outages notwithstanding. So yeah.
Google outages notwithstanding, but we'll, even if one person joins, we love doing this only because more it gives us an outlet to talk about the product, and puts it it gives it a perspective, because when I and Saurabh talk in the office, we are always talking about things that are affecting us on on that day, or a plan that has a very formal perspective to it. But these webinars make it very informal and one-on-one conversational. So love to continue with this. Thank you for joining, and see you again Friday. But more importantly, see you again on Wednesday, right? We have a Rodrigo affiliate.
Yep.
Saurabh, don't forget, huh? But last time you said I had no idea this is going, but
I know that there was a
you have
webinar.
to participate, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Integral part of the team. So thank you, Marge. Thank you as well. You have a good evening, good day, wherever you are. See you again next week, same time. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, guys.